How we doing, YouTube? Today we have a little bit of a review of the Samsung Captivate 2.3 update, Gingerbread update that I just downloaded on Thursday, I believe. I'm just going to go through a couple of the updates on here with you guys so you guys can have a little bit of a better idea of what the 2.3 update for the Android looks like. I know a lot of people out there already have the 2.3 update. They either booted it or not even sure what the right term to use is. They downloaded it from somewhere and already put it into their phone. Some of them have ice cream sandwich put right over it. So this is just 2.3 downloaded from Samsung Keys Mini. So we'll get started right here. So if we go into the unlock screen, looks very similar. We'll just drag this out of the way to open it up. Here we are met with a very similar home screen. The first thing I'm going to touch on here is you can see that this little number 1 right in the messaging means I have a message. So if I tap up here as well, you can see it up in the top, the little mail. If I tap on it, it'll come up, open my inbox, and I can see it, and it's right there. Let me see if I can mark this as unread. Probably not. Okay. So if I go back, the number 1 and the messaging box icon goes away. If we pull down the notifications bar, we can see definitely it is a little bit different. Up here we have Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GPS, turn that off, GPS, flight mode, and screen rotation. No other notifications within here. One thing that they did change though was they had a silent mode up here. You just click it and you can change it to silent, vibrate, or whatever mode you wanted to within the sound settings. Now you can't do that. You have to use the scroll over here, ringer volume, scroll it all the way down, ringer volume, on vibrate, and that's it. So if we pull this right back up, we go back to the home screen. Not much else on here. There's just the regular home screens. And one thing, I'm not really sure if you guys are going to be able to notice this on here, but if you're on the last page, if you're all the way up here on the last page, and you scroll left, it'll bring you to the last page over here. So you guys can just keep scrolling through. Instead of, it used to stop here and you'd have to go all the way back, you can actually go right to the last page and scroll to the next page without having to go back. If we tap on settings here, we have a new 6-icon settings bar. They changed the formatting of it a little bit. It's all of the buttons are in the same exact spot. It just looks a little bit different. If we go into settings here, we have all the icons in color, just like the 2.2 update. And I'll actually scroll down to About Phone to show you guys that it actually is in 2.3 firmware. As you can see, 2.3.5 firmware version. Samsung SGI or SGHI 897. Scroll down, build number Gingerbread, kernel version 2.6.35.7. So that's about the phone. All of these settings in here are pretty much identical. There are a couple things within flight mode that are a little bit different. Packet data. Call settings I think are exactly the same. Sound, if I want to take it out of silent mode, take it out of silent mode. Ringtones, they give you a couple more. Oh, these are actually my ringtones. Notification ringtone, touch tones, feedback, lock sounds. Vibration intensity, haptic feedback, applications, unknown sources, allow installation of non-market applications, all these different things. There's not much different, except on the 2.3 update, they say that that'll actually save your battery a little better than the 2.2. As you can see, my background is currently Blue Sea, which is what it comes when you reset to the default. And that's using 13% of the battery, so if I get rid of that, that'll definitely conserve my battery up top. One thing up here, the icons at the top have changed a little bit. Now you can see, before on the 2.2 update, the firmware or the battery icon was definitely a little bit harder to see, and it wasn't as accurate as what it should have been. Up here we have the date and the time, and actually here you could see a graph of your battery consumption. 34 minutes, 19 seconds on battery. Let's go back. If we go to applications and sync, we can see application synced out automatically. All this stuff is pretty much similar to the 2.2 version. There's not much that has changed. Since I got this phone, I had to update it to 2.2 and now 2.3. So I've had two upgrades of the Android system since I think January of 2011, which was last year, which is when I got it. Okay, so if we go and open up our applications tab, you can see that some of these icons are slightly different. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Not much different. And remember how I said on the home screens you can go to the last page and scroll? You can do the same thing here. Instead of having to go all the way back to the beginning, you can just keep scrolling through continuously, which is also a plus, especially if you have a lot of pages loaded. Downloads tab, so when you download something in your browser, it'll come up in there, so just like on the computer, how I have it in Firefox. If we go to Task Manager, if you go to download, it'll show all your third-party apps that you download from the marketplace. If you go to RAM up here, instead of saying clear active applications or whatever it said before, clear RAM, you can actually clear the memory. Now an application is closed. If you go to storage, it'll show you how much storage you have left on your phone, SD card, external SD card, personal data, internal full storage. So that's good. If we go back into here, I'll go all the way back home. If we go back into the applications and we click the bottom left button, we can view type, go to customizable grid, and we can click edit. So if we want to change this email icon out, that, switch it right like that. And if I want to put where are my contacts? Contacts, change that with browser. Let me change it. There we go. We can go save, view type, alphabetical grid, and we're now good. That's how I like it. If we go into phone, we can see logs. That's not much different. Favorites, contacts. There's not much actual physical that Android did on this 2.3 update. It was more internal, made the phone a little bit quicker, which I really haven't noticed so far. Maybe the screen scrolling is a little faster. If I go to browser, let me see how fast this is working. So right now we're on the Yahoo homepage. Has Mitt Romney's momentum returned. We'll go to Google now. Google.com. We'll click go. That was actually very quick. One problem I had before was when I went into browser and I went out, all the icons and everything went blank for a second, like I just cleared the RAM or rebooted it, and then they appear a few seconds later. That doesn't appear to be happening right now. If I go into Galaxy S setup, let's see, have you registered your Galaxy S phone? Yeah, I believe I have. Alright, so that'll pretty much, let me see if there's anything I missed. Marketplace is probably pretty identical to what it was, except the terms. We're loading, we're in. Marketplace looks very similar right now. If I go updates available, I don't have any apps to update. I guess I do have apps to update. So as you can see, they're updating automatically. These are actually not my apps. These are actually apps that came with the phone that automate or that update automatically, which is good. Let me change this to automatically update instead of manual. let's see if that'll work. One thing that I noticed, okay, one thing that I noticed on the 2.3 update is that these apps, especially the ones that are preloaded into the phone, take up a lot, and I mean a lot of memory and juice battery life. And the one thing with the one concern I have is that you can't uninstall them, even if you don't want to use them. You can't uninstall them. If we change, yeah, it won't even let me look at them. If we go into settings and applications, manage applications. See, if I don't want Google Books, I can't uninstall it. It'll only let me uninstall updates since it comes with the phone. Like if I don't want to use mobile banking or hotspots, navigation, and none of these I can uninstall. They all come with the phone, and they have to stay on the phone for unknown reasons. So I think that'll pretty much do it for this Samsung Captivate 2.3 update for you guys. I went through a couple of the main things. As I said before, the 2.3 update Gingerbread is really not a physical upgrade. It doesn't change much, except for this is the one major thing I noticed. That's one thing, the only physical change that I was able to really find, except the application changed a little bit. That's it. But the main part of this update was increasing the speed and how fast the processor works. So I think that'll do it here. This has been a Matty S4 production. Everyone, have a nice day.